Breaking news into CBS Sports HQ. The NFL is suspending DK Metcalf 2 games for a physical confrontation with a Lions fan during Sunday's game. So Metcalf can appeal this suspension. An NFL Network report said that Metcalf had a history with the fan and reported him to security last season when he was with the Seahawks. Now, the fan, Ryan Kennedy, denies wrongdoing, saying he did not say anything offensive to Metcalf. If the suspension is upheld, Metcalf will miss Sunday's game at the Browns and the season finale at home against the Ravens. Let's welcome in our senior NFL insider, Jonathan Jones, here to dive in. And so, JJ, initial reactions and break down what this means for Pittsburgh, who currently lead the AFC North, and the Ravens are right there. So what does this mean for Pittsburgh over the final 2 weeks of the regular season?
Well, it's decent timing for Pittsburgh if you're ever going to lose your top wide receiver with 2 games left to go in a season where you have not captured the division title, because the Pittsburgh Steelers can go to sleep on Saturday night heading into Sunday morning and their game against the Cleveland Browns having won the AFC North. And here's why. If the Baltimore Ravens lose on Saturday night to the Green Bay Packers, who may be playing with Malik Willis, maybe playing with Jordan Love, maybe playing with neither. We don't know who the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens would be. But if the Ravens lose on Saturday, the Pittsburgh Steelers have won the AFC North. They have locked into the 4th overall seed. They will have a home playoff game in the wild card week. And that's really it. Weeks 17 and 18 for the Steelers would not matter. You could almost treat them like bye weeks. So that is, if you are the Pittsburgh Steelers, the kind of sliver of good news here in losing DK Metcalf, in that with what I think a lot of people would say is a likely loss at Green Bay in week 17, and of course these games have to still be played, but with that loss, you don't really care necessarily that you will be without your top wide receiver in these last 2 games, needing him for a playoff push. He will be ready to go once the playoffs begin in that wild card round, Jacqueline.
Yeah, we just saw the AFC playoff picture, as you mentioned. The Steelers right now sitting there as the 4 seed with 9 wins. JJ, you think DK, of course, is going to appeal this suspension. Why could that be a unique challenge for him?
So, first of all, I'm not at all surprised that he was suspended at least 1 game. There had been talk that it could be more than 1 game. You know, the NFL has to, they have to set a precedent where players cannot make swipes at or strike at, whatever you want to say. If this was a punch, if this was a swipe, obviously the league calling it some physical confrontation with a fan. The fan is in the fan's area. They're in the stands. They didn't go on to the playing field. And DK, put his hands on a fan. And so that can't take place. And so not at all surprised that there was at least a 1-game suspension. The 2-game suspension, obviously, the league coming down, I would consider it quite hard on DK Metcalf. I know there's some anonymously sourced reporting out there talking about the fan who has been named, who has been on the record about what he said. There's video, there's some audio out there that does not so far support what anonymous sources from other outlets are saying that may have been said to DK Metcalf. So I would be careful for anyone who's following along with this story to necessarily believe in that just yet. I would wait on someone who was involved in this conversation to actually say that. And we have not heard that just yet. But because this is going to be heard, the appeal, by the NFL commissioner, not a jointly appointed appeals officer by the NFL and the NFL Players Union, this is different because it's conduct detrimental to the league. So Roger Goodell can hear the appeal. Well, the NFL handed down this punishment. And so the league hands it down, and then the league hears what you have to say after they have already sort of ruled on this. And so that's what's going to make an appeal quite difficult for DK Metcalf. It's hard for me to believe that it's going to go from 2 games to 0. Could it be decreased to 1? Sure. And DK Metcalf is going to have every opportunity to let himself and whatever available evidence he has be heard with Roger Goodell or an assigned appointee to hear this case. But it's going to be a more difficult challenge in an appeals process than a guy who hits a defensive player defenseless player, for example.
JJ, we certainly appreciate it joining us for this breaking news here. And of course, we will keep you posted with any new developments that are out there, any appeal news as well. The NFL is suspending DK Metcalf for 2 games for a physical confrontation with a Lions fan during Sunday's game. As it stands right now, the Steelers, they are leading the AFC North, sitting at 9-6. They have the Browns first up on the schedule, then the Ravens to end the regular season. If that suspension with DK Metcalf is upheld, he would be missing both of those games. But again, we will keep you updated. DK Metcalf was involved in an altercation with a fan in Detroit. So the NFL is reviewing the incident, which happened during the second quarter of Pittsburgh's 29-24 win at Ford Field. An NFL Network report today said that Metcalf had a hit and had reported him to security while with Seattle last season. Now, Metcalf did not address the incident with reporters post-game, and Coach Mike Tomlin also declined to address the situation. So the fan issued a statement today denying any wrongdoing, adding that he did not say anything offensive to Metcalf on Sunday. Of course, we will keep you updated with any further developments right here on CBS Sports HQ. Back here on HQ, presented by Capital One. We're about to put a bow on Week 16 in the NFL. The playoff picture is coming into focus, and there's still 10 teams, you see them sprinkled all over your screen there, that are still alive to win their respective divisions. But the NFC West is pretty darn wild because the division is still up for grabs at this point. There will be 3 teams from this division in the Seahawks, the Rams, and the Niners that are going to go to the playoffs. But who is going to take the division crown? Seattle sitting at 12-3. They're currently a -125 favorite to win the NFC West, according to FanDuel. But there are still scenarios that could pan out where the Rams or the Niners win it. Now, in terms of the 1 seed overall in the NFC, Seattle gets it if they win out. San Francisco gets it if they win out. It's a little bit trickier for the Rams who have to win out with a Seattle loss, with a Chicago loss, with a Niners loss. So it's not impossible. There is a chance. And we're going to break down all the division races here with Danny Cannell in studio and Pete Prisco, starting with the NFC West, because I can't remember the last time that a division race has come down this late in the season for any division. And we're looking at, of course, the Rams, the Niners. Danny Cannell's a busy guy. What can we say? But Pete, I'll come to you first here. Who do you think ultimately is going to get the NFC West crown when it is all said and done? Do you think it's Seattle, or do you have some more faith in the Niners, who, of course, by the way, we're all going to be watching tonight in Indy?
No, I think it's going to end up being the Rams. I think, yeah, when you look at it, their schedule is so favorable down the stretch, and I think Seattle's got a tough game at Carolina. Seattle has to go to San Francisco. So, and San Francisco has to play tonight. Then they have to play the Bears, and then they have to play Seattle. So I think the easiest schedule is the Rams, and I think that gives them a leg up on everybody else. I mean, you look at that schedule, the Rams at the Falcons and the Cardinals. I mean, those are like 2 layups. They should be. And both of the other teams have tough games. So I would lean to the Rams in that scenario because I think Seattle will lose 1, and I think the 49ers might lose another one as well.
I agree with Pete, and we did a similar segment on Saturday morning when I was in here, and I thought the Rams, because of what Pete said with the easier schedule, but also I feel like I trust the Rams more than some of these other teams. The Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford pairing, we've seen it succeed before, and I feel like Matthew Stafford is playing at such an elite level that he can carry his team, and I sort of trust them more. Well, I don't have that same faith in Sam Darnold and the Seahawks or with Brock Purdy and the 49ers. I think the Rams' defense has been coming along, making significant improvements, but with the weapons he's got on the outside, I feel like the Rams are the team that is going to be up and end up winning this division. And from a value standpoint, I think it's a no-brainer to take plus money with the Rams to win the division. I think this is an easy one. Now, it's hard to trust any team in the NFL the way we've seen some of these surprises coming down the stretch, but the veteran experience from both coach and quarterback with the Rams is why I would give them the slight edge.
Yeah, we see it there, plus 230 to win the NFC West, and Danny's all about that plus money with the Rams. You still don't trust Sam Darnold, huh? Even after that head-to-head?
No, I mean, even in the head-to-head, he was a little bit shaky early in that game, and, you know, there was a couple big plays was the difference, and you got to give credit to Seattle for winning that game against the Rams, but ultimately, I'm curious to know what Pete thinks about this one. I still look at Sam Darnold, and he's got to do it more consistently over time for me to buy into him. And Matthew Stafford already with a Super Bowl ring and a lot more playing experience, I don't think it's that much of a question.
Pete, what about you? Where are you at on Sam Darnold after what we've seen so far up until this point?
Well, he wasn't very good the other night. They had a punt return for a touchdown and then had a reverse to set up the next touchdown. It's not like he did it. Now, he did make throws to game-winning drive, so he give him that